Good evening and welcome to our live presentation of the 2019 FHSAA Bowling Championships. We are preparing for the team rounds here on Bowl TV. I'm Nate March, joined by Palmer Falgren here from Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando, and we are getting ready for the boys and girls team competition. We had the individual competition earlier this afternoon. On the boys' side, out of the winner's bracket, we have Dwyer High School, and out of the consolation bracket, needing to win twice, perennial boys bowling power Apopka High School, looking to get back to the championship podium after a year absence last year. And on the girls' side, we have another traditional power coming out of the women's bracket, or the girls' bracket, I should say, Oviedo High School, and they will be facing Space Coast High School as Oviedo was able to overcome defending champion Coral Springs, and then Space Coast likewise able to advance past Coral Springs into this team round. Palmer, for our viewers who are unfamiliar with how team competition works in FHSAA bowling, it is Baker style, and so each team will designate 5 bowlers. Each one will bowl 2 frames, and it'll be best 3 out of 5 games. And the teams coming out of the consolation bracket will have to win twice in order to achieve the championship. And so again, Dwyer and Oviedo, the clear favorites coming out of play so far. Dwyer, in sort of that unfamiliar spot. Apopka is usually, the big boys' power of the past decade or so. And Oviedo on the girls' side in their first year under new head coach Zachary Waters. And Oviedo also will have the benefit of having Shauna Rogers, the state champion who was crowned earlier this afternoon in a straight game sweep in the individual competition.
Yeah, and get ready. This is the finals, isn't it? And I don't know if one team has it over another team because there's going to be a lot of strategy involved in their lineup. As we saw over here in the boys, there's one of their bowlers, William, struck out 2 games in a row to win both games to get into the top spot for Dwyer. So it's really exciting. It's loud, it's fast, and it's fun.
Rights to tonight's webcast of the state finals in the 2019 FHSAA Bowling Championships have been granted to Bowl TV by the Florida High School Athletic Association and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Florida High School Athletic Association is prohibited. And we are just moments away from starting, and warm-ups have already commenced. We had a nice ceremony here just as we were coming on air, recognizing Special Olympians who competed here yesterday in bowling championships. Dwyer and Apopka are on lanes 61 and 62, and the ladies, Oviedo and Space Coast, over on lanes, I believe, 68 and 69 is where they will be competing. And we will be starting with the boys' competition as they are getting prepared to get underway.
Well, let's set up a little bit of the lane condition that they're bowling on. And they've been bowling on it all day. It's 42 feet in length, and it's what we call a house pattern. It's designed for scores, higher scores. And we're going to see a lot of strikes today. Always in this type of format, you'll try to keep your mistakes down and fill frames and let the big strike ball bowlers do their job in the 9th and 10th frame.
And as you would expect on the girls' side, Shauna Rogers will be anchoring in that 5th and 10th frame for Oviedo as they look to win their first championship since 2017. Again, last year, that 2017 championship, they won a thriller over Coral Springs. Coral Springs won the championship last year. This year, the challenger will be Space Coast against Oviedo.
Yeah, when you talk about Shauna, too, we noticed how calm and collected she was in her routine, and it's a different dynamic when you're playing a team. There's a lot of communication going on between the players to the lane changing, maybe a little bit of technique and strategy along with the coach. So it's interesting. It's like I said, it's fast-paced, and it's every man on deck, so to speak, or every woman on deck for this.
And it's one of those things you really have a nice, it's almost like a sound pocket the way the venue is set up. Bleachers pulled up right around the lanes that are in use, and they are pretty well packed. So it is a fun atmosphere, and we are underway as the first balls are heading down the lane in Dwyer and Apopka's match.
Solid 7 to start out the match. That's still practice. They wiped it off.
And I think we had a false start there.
Okay.
Reset. Well, now I'm thinking perhaps because of the ceremony, they have perhaps allowed a few extra rolls of practice here. Appears to be the case. We are going to step aside for a short break. You're watching the 2019 FHSAA Bowling Championships on Bowl TV.
In bowling, it's just you, the ball, and the pins. But behind every student athlete is a supportive family.
My dad drives me pretty much every week, and my mom pays for the majority of my tournaments. And my grandparents, they're there for moral support.
With family in your corner,
to win a championship,
anything is possible. It's not about makes or misses.
Solomon Solomon makes history today.
It's not about trophies or fame.
How about this young man?
It's about the people you meet and the memories you make.
I think the social aspect of it is really what it means for me to be a bowler. That sense of community that you get with other people that you bowl with.
And it's a wonderful thing about the sport. It brings you close to people beyond just kind of the bowling itself, and I would have never expected that.
Hard and straight.
Oh.
That's real bad. That's unfortunate.
He's got to start striking.
She is not lined in right now.
Yes.
Well, that was more direct. There she goes.
Yeah, that's better. Things have changed dramatically.
From being lost, being right in command.
For the championship.
Could not have thrown it better.
Down by as many as 51 pins. She rallies and wins.
Live from Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando. This is the FHSAA 2019 Bowling Championships, live on Bowl TV. Sportsmanship is having pride in your school, your team, and yourself. Sportsmanship is respect for the game and those who play it. The Florida High School Athletic Association reminds you to take on the responsibility of good sportsmanship. Play strong, play hard, play fair. This message provided by Bowl TV and the FHSAA. You are viewing the resumption of warm-up rounds for Space Coast and Oviedo at the moment. So just a bit of a change to the pre-match schedule. What we had here was a warm-up phase followed by the Special Olympics ceremony. Now both teams have been granted an additional 5 minutes of warm-up time. That is winding down, and the teams are about to shift into position for the start of the actual match, and you can see that now as we prepare for the start over on the boys' side. Apopka in the light blue, gray, silver, and white. That is Apopka you are viewing right there. Dwyer in the darker blue outfits.
Talking about strategies even now as they start.
Now, once again, you have the potential of, weighing the fatigue factor potentially of the teams that have been playing through consolation for the last hour or so, versus the potential momentum. Apopka, chance, they come in hot out of, a thrilling match to qualify.
Well, they came all the way from 11th place all the way to the final match here, and it's so much excitement. It's going to carry them right through, I think, as far as emotionally. Physically is another story. There could be a little bit of a letdown, but not all players.
Make sure to follow the 2019 Florida High School Bowling State Championships on social media by searching for FHSAA on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And a first ball down the lane and a 9 out of the gate.
Nasty. Michael's solid 10, and that looked like a solid 7. That was really a great shot. See what Josh can do over here. And then he's going to get a lucky one. No, they both left a 10-pin.
10-pin stays up for both. It was wobbling over on Dwyer's side, and a quick spare picked up out of the gate. Dwyer is coached by Nathaniel McNeil. Apopka coached by Doug Campbell. Matching spares.
Lefty Josh keeping it even.
Jacob Sugar's up for Dwyer. Jeremy Walker next for Apopka.
Oh, that's a great shot that he threw.
Sugars with a beauty of a strike. And Apopka matches.
Sure looks like they're starting out really in a cohesive sense here where they walk up there, they know what they're going to do, and they throw a good shot.
Lance Brown with a strike for Dwyer. Nathan Wesley up now for Apopka.
Nathan, get it to roll there. Great shot.
What a start.
Yeah, let's see if Marshall can keep it going.
Marshall Brock up next for Dwyer. Indeed.
All right, Eli, you're next.
Eli Baker. For the Blue Darters.
Still a good shot. Stayed away out of trouble. Left a 2-8. Relatively easy spare on this condition. Let's see if Ben can make this five good frames in a row here. All right.
Oh.
First break in the action there. And Eli, dead-eye Eli there.
Spare picked up by Eli Baker in the fourth frame for Apopka.
They're going to have the fifth frame. Dwyer's going to have the fifth frame completed before Apopka gets up there and bowls their fifth frame.
And Dwyer does consummate the spare.
Dwyer's 8-pin lead early in the match. Good shot there. Oh, didn't get the hook.
That was Ben Bailey for Apopka.
Needs to make the spare to keep 10, just 10 down. The up by 10 or down by 1? Down by 1.
So Apopka leaves the fifth frame open.
Now it's all even as fast as they can bowl here. There you go.
Dwyer maintains the advantage, picking up the spare in frame 6.
It's interesting how fast this goes because they stay right there on the same lane.
Another 9 for the southpaw for Apopka. Big strike for Dwyer. That was frame 7 for Dwyer. Apopka finishing their 6th frame by converting the spare. Shifting our attention over to the girls' side where Oviedo opened with a pair of strikes, 3 strikes so far. Space Coast with only 1 strike on the board thus far and an open frame in the second. So Oviedo out to the early advantage. Although a rough first ball on the 6th frame, only a 6 for Oviedo.
Oviedo has a 23-point lead and a relatively difficult spare and to maintain a 23-point lead.
Shauna Rogers did have a strike in her first ball of the Baker Finals. And Oviedo
she chops the spare.
Not able to convert the spare. 1 pin stays up.
That's for an 11-pin lead now, from 23 down to 11. It's still anybody's game, and it's getting late in the game, so it's going to come down to the 8th, 9th, and 10th frame for these girls.
Space Coast in their 6th frame. And the 10-pin stays up there. Oviedo is on their 7th frame.
So that's Fran. There you go.
And a critical strike after the open frame.
Absolutely.
So Space Coast looking to pick up the spare in their 6th frame. And unable to do so. So Space Coast with an open frame. Tough spare coming up for Oviedo.
Yeah, Ann's got to go cross lane a little bit at this and try to make it so she doesn't chop that spare.
Over on the boys' side, the first game is winding toward a close. Dwyer about to send their final ball down the lane.
With a victory.
And yes, the victory is in hand for Dwyer as Apopka had an open frame in frame 9. And so Dwyer in game 1 wraps up with 200 on the button. And takes game 1 over Apopka, who will at best be able to finish at 191.
Really, in the key to that game over there was Jacob, their second bowler, threw 2 really good strikes in that.
Jacob Sugars, yes, had a pair of strikes, and Apopka does get all 10 to wrap up, finishing, 181, not 191. So 200 to 181, Dwyer takes the first game on the boys' side. Moving to the later stages of the first game on the girls' side, Oviedo with a strike in the 9th frame, and Space Coast needs to pick up a spare in the 8th frame of their first game.
Space Coast can still shoot 190, 130, 180 is their top score. And if they get an 8 count, Oviedo gets an 8 count, they ensure themselves a tie. A 9 they win.
Space Coast picks up a spare in their 8th frame.
And who better to throw this than Shauna?
Absolutely. Shauna Rogers won the individual state championship this afternoon as that big backswing goes wide and crushes all 10.
Great shot.
Yeah, so Oviedo is going to take the first game over on the girls' side. So the teams out of the winner's bracket off to fast starts.
It's time for the Space Coast to see what they can do here in the 9th and 10th to get some momentum back in the game. And starting in the next game, you don't want to be down. You want to be going in there with some momentum.
Rogers with another ball for Oviedo. With that slow, deliberate approach. And she is locked in. She has crushed all 10 3 times now.
Here's the thing in Baker formats, when you go into 10th frame, you're allowed to substitute for someone. They can go in. When they go in the game, they have to stay in the game. But if they go in the 10th frame, they can throw one ball, get loose, try to see if that's the player you want to go with, and then they can come out the next game or stay in for the next game.
Oviedo wraps up the first game with a score of 214.
That noise you hear in the background is the team that lost to Poplar down here. You guys starting to make a move back.
Popka and Dwyer 3 sets deep already as we transition back to that end of Boardwalk Bowl.
Oh, a 4-9.
A really tough split there.
Took 11-pin lead. Probably the odds on that split are about, 25% to make that, but they can make it.
Popka off to a swift start.
Yeah. See if he makes this 4-9, but oh, that's so close.
Missed everything.
As we,
final score over on the girls' side from the first game wound up being 214-178. Over here on the boys' side, Popka having the better of things here in the 5th set. They registered a spare to open, followed by a turkey, and now a 9 and what should be an easy spare here in set 5, and indeed that is picked up. Yep. And Dwyer chasing now after that open frame. They manage a spare in set 5.
Well, right now it's a 33-pin deficit with half the game gone. So they got to make their move here in the second half of the game. Starting right here. There you go.
Now Popka answers with another strike.
Yeah. This is a lot of pressure here on Jacob. He helped him win the first game, and he can go a long way by helping him again here.
Good rotation.
Good deal.
For a Popka, this is the 7th frame. And another strike.
Still 34-pin lead, can cut it down to 24. And they do.
Got it all. That is a turkey for Dwyer.
They're just waiting for a hiccup here. Keep striking and keep the pressure on.
A Popka does just that.
Yeah, exactly.
A turkey for a Popka.
Wow,
Dwyer at 4 straight.
They can't miss. If they can strike out for 235, possible 269 for a Popka.
Eli Baker with an 8.
Cut the lead to 22. Anything's possible here at the end now. This is a must strike.
It does come through.
There's the guy that struck out to get him there in the semis. William Walker seems to have nerves of steel here in the 10th frame.
Absolutely.
The other team is going at a 237 pace. Dwyer can strike out for 235, so it's close. Again, this is a must strike.
Huge.
Anything less than 10 here, the game is on. There it is.
That is cold-blooded by Ben Bailey.
That's clutch. 9 pins on 2 balls to win. All right, 8 pins on 2 balls to win now.
Popka trying to close out the second game and draw even here in match 1 of the championship round. Done deal!
Boy, that Ben can move some pins out of there.
Ben Bailey was the top individual performer for Popka. And comes through big, striking through the 10th frame. Shifting our attention to the girls' match where Space Coast, with a tremendous save, a first roll one in the 3rd frame, followed by the spare being picked up.
Yeah, and they're 9 down going into that, and that girl just rode 6, so it's a difference of 5. Oh, what a great effort on the split. Now Oviedo goes down by 6.
Oviedo in their 5th frame. So this is Rogers. Cleans them out.
Now Page is up to match it. Page and Space Coast are up by 6. Playing way outside. Great shot.
Matching strikes in frame 5.
So critical to keep reciting the score because it can change from frame to frame, every frame.
Moving to frame 6 for Apopka. And a frame 6 strike for Oviedo. That is what I meant. Oviedo with the strike
Alexis,
there.
Yeah.
Space Coast not able to answer this time. I believe that was 7. So Oviedo moves to the 7th frame with a strike in hand in frame 6.
It's an important spare for Space Coast just once she makes it.
They do collect.
Now they're 4 down. Switch back and forth. Now Space Coast 4 down. Stepping up on a double for Oviedo. She leaves a 6-10. 2 down.
The pace of the girls' match really lagging behind the boys, who are already 3 frames deep into their 3rd game.
Yeah, the girls backed off a few times with the noise over there. They're a little more methodical.
Now Oviedo does manage the spare. So Oviedo now 7 frames in. Space Coast with an important spare.
This is to stay 3 pins down. Ariana's taking that hook ball over there at the 7-pin and didn't hook enough.
Did not make it.
Well, but right back.
So now it's Oviedo that has a key spare to try and pick up to maintain the lead.
Maintain a 10-pin lead, too, so if she misses it, they go down. Oh, good key shot, too.
Oviedo unable to pick up the spare. So open frames late for both sides.
Space Coast right now is, and I keep saying this, they have a 2-pin lead now with an important spare up, and they're going into their 2 key bowlers in the 9th and 10th frame. And this is what they live for, is to close it out. One team or the other. Good.
Space Coast gets the spare.
Good clutch shot there.
Big strike for Oviedo.
That was Justina setting up Shauna. She did it last frame too, last game.
Space Coast's 9th frame. tremendously clutch strike.
Big shot. That's Caitlin.
Caitlin Knight. Here's Rogers. Comes through with a strike to start the 10th frame.
They went from a 2-pin deficit to a 8-pin lead. Now Paige has to answer the call.
Didn't quite get the 10-pin there.
That messenger didn't know the address there.
Looked like it was coming in to clean out the 10-pin and just didn't quite hit it.
A little strategy going on with the women. She's making her shoot that first. Because the next ball, if she would happen to miss it, she could just throw her ball. But if she made it, she's going to play it safe on this ball because she just needs a good count. She doesn't need to try to go strike hunting or play the outside of the lane. There you go.
And Rogers gets the 10-pin down there.
Yeah.
I believe she has recorded a strike on every ball she has thrown thus far in this Baker round.
That's just a continuation of that singles.
In years past, I've seen a single champion come in and seem a little tired sometimes by the Baker round. It's been the complete opposite.
It has. She's energized. Well, we said she has that calm demeanor. She still walked back, methodically going up there.
Space Coast ends at 177.
Boy, over here, Opopka needs a strike in the 9th now.
Rogers closing out Oviedo's round. Another huge delivery by Shauna Rogers. 195-177, and Oviedo is one game away. Meanwhile, back to the boys where Dwyer is in the 10th frame looking to pick up a spare in the 3rd game, and they do pick it up.